Welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show with Nichols head baseball coach Seth Thibodeaux. Presented by State Farm Insurance. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state with State Farm Insurance. Hello and welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show presented by State Farm Insurance. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. Today we close the book on the 2012 season of Colonels baseball. Nichols nearly pulled off a miracle on the final weekend of the regular season for the second straight year. Unfortunately, this time around it simply wasn't meant to be, and the Colonels came up just short of qualifying for the Southern Conference Tournament. We're joined here by the head coach of the Colonel baseball team, Seth Thibodeaux. Are you recovered yet? I know it takes a while to bounce back from things like that.
It certainly is a sting that'll sit with me and motivate me and my staff for an entire season, an entire year, and it's going to hurt until we get through it next year for sure.
The Colonels on the verge of qualifying for the Southern Tournament, which would have been a school record third consecutive time. Mm-hmm. You needed a series victory over Stephen F. Austin, at least a series victory, if not a sweep. You needed a lot of help around the league as well. What was the mindset going into Nacogdoches?
You know, the mindset was take care of our business one pitch at a time, and that's what certainly it should have been the entire season. And that's what our goal is every time we step on the field, is try to win each and every pitch. But to put yourself in that situation again, we wanted to win pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and compete like in that way and not look at the big picture. Because if you look at the big picture, you'll drown yourself a little bit. And we certainly want to take care of get things one game at a time.
Well, took care of business on Thursday. Seth Webster, a complete game outing, gave up just one earned run, 6 hits. He fanned 4. The Colonels scored 5 runs in the first inning, holding on for the victory. Meanwhile, you got some help. Corpus Christi lost to Texas Arlington. Northwestern State beat Texas State, and Lamar defeated UTSA. You couldn't have asked for a better Thursday.
Just a perfect start to a great weekend, and we needed that. And you kind of assumed it was going to happen that way, you know, knowing what you know about each team. But for us to take care of our own business was very crucial.
Now Friday, a little bit different, unfortunately. 2-1 ball game at the stretch, but Stephen F. Austin scored 5 runs in the 7th to pull away. You still got some help. Corpus Christi lost again. Northwestern State lost. Lamar lost. On that day, Stephen F. Austin clinched. So after the defeat on Friday, it's down to 1 spot. Only the 8th seed was left to be determined, and the Colonels would have to come out and win on Saturday. What'd you tell your team after Friday's ball game?
Well, we talked about controlling our own what we can control and taking care of our own business, and we have to eat our own plate, so to speak. And we needed to take care of what we can put into it, and we needed a good outing. We needed to play defense. We needed to take care of the baseball, jump out to a lead, and make sure we command the game. And that was the goal going into Saturday's ball game.
Well, heading into Saturday, the Colonels would need to win. They'd also need to get a little bit of help. The Colonels would have to defeat the Lumberjacks. Corpus Christi and Northwestern State had to go down in defeat for the Colonels to head to San Marcos, Texas. Nichols had not taken a series from Stephen F. Austin since 2006. They'd have their shot, though, on Saturday. JC's Field is a setting. Spot starter Justin Choate goes for SFA. Mike Sook gets the assignment for Nichols. He gets some help. Phil Lyons robs Zach Benson in the first, part of a 1-2-3 inning for Sook. He'd help his own cause here, snagging the screamer off the bat of Jared Scarfiotti. This game was scoreless through 1 inning. Top 2, following a pair of 2-out singles, Cody Dufran delivers the base hit up the middle. Bo Falk coming around to score, and Nichols is up by a margin of 1-0. Good start in this one. David Zorn, the next batter, and he pokes his breaking ball back through the box. Austin Flores coming around. The Colonels lead by 2. But in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Benson, up at the bat here, lines one out to center field. This 2-out hit chases in Freddie Villalobos, and the lead is cut in half. We got a ball game here. We move on to the 4th inning. A strikeout wild pitch really shifted the momentum of this inning, giving Villalobos the chance for this sac fly. Chris Hernandez scores, Max Lamantia tags, and advances to 3rd, and we are all tied up. Not for long, though, unfortunately. Up steps Bryce Cummings. He slices one to right. Lamantia comes home, and Nichols now down by a score of 3-2. Cody Priest coming on to pitch in the 6th for the Lumberjacks. The Colonels work some 2-out magic again. Flores slapping it to left. Michael LaGrange comes chugging around. The Colonels square it up at 3. Nichols jumps back on top in the 7th as Brett Higginbotham, on a great hustle play here, Higginbotham misses on the pitch. Matt Richard steals second. The error allows him to go to 3rd, and then nobody paying attention except for Richard. He comes home on the play. A great hustle play. The Colonels back out in front as they caught the Lumberjacks off guard. But bad news after the stretch. With one out, Benson tries to bunt his way on. Sook throws the ball into the bullpen. Benson ends up at second, and that would be costly because up steps the toughest out on the team, Hunter Dozier, and he rips the offering to left. Benson coming around with a tying run. Sook would go 7 innings. He allowed 9 hits and 3 earned runs. The Colonels managed only an infield hit in the 8th and 9th. SFA looking to put it away here, bottom 9. Villalobos singles up the middle against Brad DeLotte to lead off the inning. That would bring up Cummings, and he's looking to move Villalobos up. This would do it. The Colonels get the out, but Villalobos is in scoring position for Ricardo Sanchez. It all comes down to this, the season on the line here, and the gapper off the bat of Sanchez scores Villalobos. Stephen F. Austin wins it 5-4. It turns out later in the day, both Corpus Christi and Northwestern State lost. A win here would have gotten the Colonels into the Southland Tournament. Instead, the season is over. 26-28 the final record, 13-19 in Southland play. A very lengthy talk with the team after the ball game. What were your remarks?
You never really can prepare yourself for the end of it. And you feel like you're always in it and you're always going to get there. And we just weren't able to take care of our business at the end of the day. We weren't able to overcome all of the adversity that we had to face with injuries and countless injuries, I should say, and always putting ourselves in tough situations. But we fought our tails off, and no matter what no matter the situation, and we had a chance there to get ourselves into the postseason and weren't quite able to get it done.
Well, we did receive at least some positive news back on Monday. Nicholls State University senior designated hitter Jeremy Hill and sophomore second baseman Philip Lyons were named to the All-Southland Conference second team. Third consecutive year the Colonels have had at least 2 players earn first, second, or third team honors. And Jeremy Hill, what a catalyst he was this season. Unbelievable effort.
Right. He carried us. He put us on his back down the stretch when we were struggling with injuries and needed some guys we needed a guy to carry us, and he certainly did that for us. And I was happy for him to be able to get what he put into it, because he worked really hard and he certainly deserved that accolade. But with countless big hits for us over and over and over again down the stretch, and he made things a lot of fun for us. And just a big time 3-hole hitter in the Southland Conference. And what else can you say? And there at the end, I hate to see that he had a tough weekend. He really put a little pressure on himself down the stretch. But how often can you just continue to weigh on in one guy? And at some point someone else had to carry the load for us, and it just wasn't quite able to get it done.
Heading into the final day of the regular season, he had a 28-game on-base streak and a 15-game hitting streak. Finished the regular season with a .368 average, third in the Southland Conference. Just a terrific senior season.
Absolutely, and a terrific career. He had some big-time hits for this program in 2 years, and I'm proud of him. His life totally changed in a positive direction when he came to Nicholls State University, and he's going to get his degree this fall. And just a great career for a young man that deserved it.
Meanwhile, Philip Lyons had a breakout year. He started every game for the Colonels at second base, finished up with 71 hits, which was 6th best in the league heading into the final weekend of the regular season. This is a player that really came into his own this year.
Absolutely, and he worked hard last summer. And college baseball is such a year-long, it's a process. And for him to put on some muscle and some weight last year after just playing in bits and pieces as a freshman, we know what kind of player Philip was, and he certainly is as competitive as they come. And he's going up to the Northwoods League this summer, and he's going to play in a very competitive league, and I expect him to get it even better. The best part about coming out second sometimes is that's still a burn in your belly to want to be first. And for him to get second team, I can guarantee you Philip Lyons is waking up each and every morning wanting to be a first team all-conference player instead of a second. So, but congrats to both of these guys. They're very deserving of it.
Jeremy Hill and Phil Lyons named to the All-Southland team. Coming up next on the Seth Thibodeaux Show presented by State Farm Insurance, we'll talk with Associate Head Coach Chris Prothro about the newest Colonels recruiting class. We're back in 60 seconds.
There goes Dwayne's car. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
In Thibodeaux, call Mike Bednards. And in Homa, call Mark Anderpont.
Get to a better state.
Back here with you on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance as we close the book on the 2012 season. We're joined now by Associate Head Coach and Recruiting Coordinator for the Colonel Baseball Program, Chris Prothro. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
We're going to talk about what's coming up down the road here. You brought in a quality recruiting class. What are your overall thoughts?
We're very excited about the guys that we have coming in. We feel like we've filled a lot of our needs, position player-wise and pitching-wise. Both with junior college and high school freshmen, high school seniors that will be freshmen for us in the fall. Very talented and have a mindset that's going to match well with our coaching staff, no doubt about it.
Well, I want to take a look and get our fans the opportunity to introduce these players to them one by one here. We begin with Justin Sinibaldi out of Rummel, a terrific program. This guy's a multi-talented player. What can you say about Justin?
Well, Justin comes from a program that has expected to win and win big. They played in the state championship game this past spring. And Justin's a very talented young man. He's a big fella. He's about 6'4", 200 pounds, and we expect him to continue to grow. And he's very talented not only as a position player. He can play some first and third base and swings the bat very well, but he's got a very bright future on the mound. And he's got a lot of attributes that you expect out of a big-time pitcher. He's 6'4". He can pitch downhill. There's some velocity there. The off-speed stuff continues to get better. So we expect over the next 3 to 4 years for him to be a force on the mound, especially, and also as a position player. I think he'll be able to help us quite a bit.
Local product, Bo Achman out of Thibodeaux, big right-hander.
Well, Bo's one of those guys that we're most excited about because he is a local player. He's from Thibodeaux High School here in town and has a huge upside. His off-speed stuff right now would play in our conference. He's got a little bit to go as far as velocity, but we know that it's in there from his frame and being able to project his delivery. We expect Bo to pitch right away and in some big-time innings with the way his stuff plays right now.
We got Alex Tucker coming our way. He's out of Catholic High in Baton Rouge, a catcher. Going to fill a need there, and a terrific program he comes from.
No question, Catholic High in Baton Rouge has been a successful program for years and years. And Alex is a guy that is a very, very polished defender right now. And we expect him to come in and handle our pitching staff and be a leader for us behind the plate and be able to throw people out and be able to handle balls in the dirt and receive and work umpires and do a lot of different things. There will be a lot of pressure placed on Alex because we expect a lot from him and we're very excited to have him.
Can never have enough pitching, and we turn our attention to Jake Valadez, a left-hander. He hails from Round Rock, Texas.
Jake's a lefty we feel like we stole from the state of Texas. He's very, very talented. And what's exciting about Jake is he's a young one. He was 17 when we signed him, just turned 18 this spring, so he's got a lot of growing and maturing physically to do, mentally, emotionally as well. But he's very, very talented and gifted, and we expect for him to project for us to be a weekend starter at some point here. We expect him to pitch right away as a freshman in whatever role that might be. But he's definitely one we're excited about getting out of the state of Texas.
Another local product out of South Terrebonne High, Zach LaBeouf, a corner infielder and just a hard-nosed kid.
He is. You know, Zach was a really good football player at South Terrebonne, and one of the things that Coach Thibodeaux always asks when we're recruiting a high school student athlete is does he play football? Because that's what he likes. He likes those tough, hard-nosed kids. And Zach was a linebacker that was very good, and he takes that mentality to the baseball field. A lot of tools. He runs well for his size. He's got some pop. Arm strength, can play a multiple number of positions. So we're excited to see kind of where he fits. He can play a little bit of everywhere, and we know he's going to hit. So we can't wait to get him on campus.
Another Louisiana product in Seth Stevens out of Central Private in Baton Rouge.
Seth Stevens is a guy, an infielder, maybe some outfield when he gets there. He's athletic enough to handle both. Is a really polished hitter for a high school senior. And what Seth's going to bring to the table, we know, is a work ethic. Every time I've called Seth or talked to him, he always seems to be in the batting cages when I get him on the phone, and I think he'll be someone that's going to wear us out a little bit for how much he wants to work, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think he'll bring some guys with him. Even as a freshman, he'll show some leadership qualities in his work ethic and his ability.
Can you tell us about Cole Wilson, an infielder out of Parkview Baptist?
Cole Wilson, another good football player at Parkview Baptist, a team that's been used to winning state championships across their athletic programs. And Cole's hard-nosed, he's gritty. He plays some second base, but has played some outfield for Parkview, left-handed hitter that can run. And he's going to bring a mindset of competing and expecting to win championships. And he's going to be a dirtbag. He's always going to have dirt on his uniform. He's going to do whatever it takes to win, and we can't wait to get him here.
It's the Colonel way?
Absolutely.
Jace Sheremy, lefty, coming to us from Central Lafourche.
Jace is a big, tall lefty. He's about 6'4". And to be honest with you, to see him grow over this past year has been exciting for us. We signed him early in the fall, and we're hoping that we could develop him once he got here. And Jace has really gone above and beyond what we expected him to be this year. I saw him pitch in the playoffs this spring against Archbishop Rumworth, against Sinibaldi and those guys. And it was a tough atmosphere. There was about 2,500 people there, and he really stepped up and showed that he's a competitor and shown that he's come a long way. I expect him to help us. I expect him to help us right away.
We turn our attention briefly to the JUCO route. Cliff Covington coming to us from Alabama Southern Community College. Infielder, outfielder combo?
Infielder, outfielder combo, plays first base for those guys at Alabama Southern. But he's athletic enough to play in the outfield, and that gives him some versatility because we believe – I know the bat's going to play. He can really, really hit. He has a chance to come in and be an impact bat in our league for 2 years and right away in that first year. But he's not a stiff guy. He's very athletic, has some rhythm and fluidity to the way he plays to where he can move if he needed to. But above average defensively at first base, feel like he could be above average defensively in the outfield, and we know the bat's going to play.
And we got Cody Tillotson coming our way. He's out of Cisco Junior College in Texas, a two-way player. Where do you envision him fitting in?
We expect him to give us a physical presence both in our lineup and on the mound. A left-handed arm that can run up there 86, 87, 88 miles an hour and is a strike thrower. And he's a monster. He's about 6'4", 230 pounds. Swings the bat left-handed. Has hit a handful of home runs for those guys this year that they've made it all the way to Grand Junction to play for the national title this year. So he's going to have a presence wherever he is in our lineup, whether it's on the mound or swinging the bat.
Well, those were the 10 you signed in the fall, but 3 more recently that we announced just a few weeks ago. Taylor Bird, a left-hander from Pearl River Community College.
And Taylor's a big-time stuff guy. He's not a big kid. He's about 6 foot tall, left-handed pitcher, but he runs it up there anywhere from 89 to 93 miles an hour. The breaking ball and changeup play right now, and they need to get a little bit better, but the stuff is there for him to be a very impact arm. He kind of compares a little bit to a lefty we had from the JUCO ranks, from right here in Thibodeaux, really, is Clint Dempster in the past. He compares very favorable to Clint. We expect big things from him.
Zachary Thiak, left-handed pitcher out of Rummel. You can never have enough Rummel Raiders.
You can never have enough Rummel Raiders, and you can never have enough left-handed pitching. And Zach's a guy that can pitch in multiple roles. He started for Rummel this year. He pitched in relief for Rummel. He closed for Rummel this year. And that's what we expect to get out of him when he gets here. He's a pitchability guy. He's going to be anywhere in the mid-80s, 81 to 84, with 3 quality pitches that he competes with for strikes. And he's another one of those guys like Sinibaldi, like a lot of these guys that you hear us talk about. He comes from a program that expects to win, and that's what we expect to do here.
And Mason Torres, another football player. And you got off the baseball diamond, a catcher, tough-nosed kid. He hails from Blanks, comes to us from Livonia High. What can you tell us about Mason?
Mason was a quarterback for his team, his high school football team, and when he wasn't playing quarterback, he was playing a little linebacker as well, so he's tough. And what Mason is just a ball player. He's listed as a catcher. That's what he plays for those guys. But I've talked to Coach Thibodeaux about Mason. He's going to grind wherever we put him. He's pitched for Livonia. He's played shortstop. He's played center field. We just need to tell him what time to show up and tell him where he's playing, and we're going to get 100% effort from him. And he does have some ability, which is great. But what he's being brought for is to bring a mindset to our team that it doesn't matter the position, it doesn't matter the situation, we're going to grind. And that's definitely his mindset.
Replacing 11 or 12 seniors off this team, and of course there's always some attrition as well. Is there still a need anywhere that you're looking for? Do you feel pretty comfortable where you're at?
We feel very comfortable where we're at. We're going to continue to recruit the best available players, especially through the summer. Things change. The draft changes a lot of the way where players are going, what's happening, especially at the junior college level. So we're going to continue to recruit. We feel like if we stepped on the field with what we've got on our board right now, we feel good about it. Will we continue to add, mix, and match? Absolutely. We're never going to stop working to try to make our university and our organization better. But definitely feel good about this solid group of kids that we're bringing in right now.
Coach Pro, appreciate the time. Keep up the great work, all right?
Thank you very much, Wag.
Recruiting coordinator Chris Prothro joining us here. You're tuned in to the Seth Thibodeaux Show presented by State Farm Insurance. When we come back, we'll wrap up our final program of the year. We're back with you in just 1 minute.
There goes Dwayne's car. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
In Thibodeaux, call Jude Guidry. And in Homa, call Darrell Brew.
Get to a better state.
return with you here on our final segment, on our final show, the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance here as we close out the 2012 season. Coach, one thing I wanted to point out, Mackie Wagaspak, our strength coach, has been begging to get on the show all year. For whatever reason, we couldn't have him on, so manager Joe Lasco, Mackie Wagaspak has about 4 jerseys here in the background today. It was our little way of getting him on.
Mackie, welcome to the show. Here you go, buddy.
All glory.
That's right.
It's very glorious to be on the show here.
That's right.
Coach, you got a couple players here that may get drafted. Blake Bergeron, a great power hitter for you over the last few years, and Brad DeLotte, a lefty, a fireballer out of the bullpen as well. What do you think the draft prospects are right now?
Well, they're very good for Brad DeLotte. You know, Brad was offered a professional contract last year by several organizations when he was up in the Northwoods League, and turned them down to come back and get his degree and help Nichols continue to grow as a program. And that's exactly what he did. He got his degree. But he's turned in by every organization. Very good chance he's going to get drafted. Blake Bergeron has a chance to sign, and if that shouldn't work out, there's several independent clubs that are going to look into him. We're just hoping to try to find an organization that he fits, because I still think he's got some good days ahead of him in this game. But both of those young men have a very good opportunity to play professionally after this draft.
Meanwhile, you got a bunch of players heading out to summer ball now, and an important time for the year. I don't think fans sometimes realize when the season's done, it's not done. These kids will head out in about a week or so, play 30, 40, upwards of 60 games during the summer, try to work on fine-tuning some things. Where are your guys headed? We're
heading all over the country, and like you said, this is not our downtime. This is not summer vacation time. This is really, it's starting over again. And it goes right into it. I'll tell you right off the bat, the Northwoods League, the prestigious league that you've actually worked in, Philip Lyons is going out to Thunder Bay along with Jordan McCoy, and those guys are going to get to play 70 baseball games this summer and work and lift and just have the lifestyle of a professional baseball player. And also Seth Webster is going to go to Mankato, the Moondogs out there, and he's going to be able to, pitch for the first time in the summer since he's been at Nichols. So it's a great experience for him and a great environment. I'm excited about that. We've got some guys going out to California. Cody Dufresne and Corey DeLane go out to San Luis Obispo. What a beautiful part of the United States for them. Those guys get to pitch in California this summer, poor fellas.
Yeah.
So we have some guys going out to Missouri, like Tyler Duplantis is going to play in Chillicothe, which most of our guys get to go there. We've got some guys staying locally in Louisiana in the Texas Collegiate League in Alexandria with David Zorn and Jacob Rodrigue. And then we have some guys going over the Cane Cutters, the Acadiana Cane Cutters in Lafayette, part of the TCL as well. Mike Barber returns there. And so, just a really good fit for us. And we have a good relationship with all those guys. But we also have, Michael Sook and Matt Richard going out to North Carolina in the Coastal Plains League. So the list continues to grow, and we're proud to be able to send our guys all over the country. And it's really something that's special for our team, and it's part of building a program.
Yeah, I know these guys are going to represent the university.
It's a big part of it. It's a big part of being able to send your players out each and every year is the callbacks you get. Hey, we love this kid. I don't care if he hit 220 or this guy hit 3-something. He's a wonderful teammate. Please, can we have him back? And that's the case for several of our guys each and every year, and we're proud to be able to do that.
What do you take away from the 2012 season?
We take away, continue to, with the toughest, we can sit here and make excuses over and over. With the toughest part, I look back, and the toughest part is you lose a catcher who had a gritty mindset and a mentality, and that's where you kind of get some leadership. You lose a shortstop, and you lose a couple of center fielders. One had to play with a bulging disc, and one had a brain injury, and that's right up the middle of your gut of your team. And when you lose those guys, we were fortunate enough to have recruited really well to where we're still competing. Several teams, if you lose the guys we lost, the key guys we lost, your season may be over. And ours never was, and we fought and scratched and clawed. But what you really take from it is we've got to be sound in the toughest of times. And we have to be able to, I felt good about our offense this year, and then I felt good about our pitching going in, and we didn't really pitch that great down the stretch. And so we have to toughen up on the mound a little bit. But we were 3rd, 4th overall in offense, and we stole 101 bases this year and did a lot of really good things. And we fielded 974 in Southland Conference play, which my players probably want to slap me in the face, because all year long I said, if we field 970 this year, we're going to win the league. We field 974, and we lead the league in Southland Conference play in defense, and I'm proud of that. I don't think that's been done at this school in a while, but of course it's wins and losses that it's going to sting. That's what you ultimately take away from this season, is the sting and the burn in your heart that knowing, yesterday when we were having our end of the year meeting, our players were depressed and ticked off, and knowing that someone else that we're better than, maybe practicing in that slot over in the tournament in the postseason, and turning on the TV nowadays, all you see is postseason baseball, and we aspire to be there, and we want to be that. And Nichols baseball belongs there, and it didn't quite work out, and for whatever reason, you got to find every stone and get underneath it and find out what you need to do to get better to make sure this never happens again.
This was your second year as a head coach. Every coach comes in with a plan, whether it's a 3, 4, 5-year plan. Where are you at in that plan right now, and where are you headed?
We're in a great spot. You know, we've the best part about it is we've been loyal to the guys that since we got here. We made sure those guys graduated and had a great experience. And now you're starting to see some other guys that haven't been in the program. We're going to have a lot of new guys, and really and truly, this is all, you know, the guys that I recruited. So that aspect, the facilities have changed, and we're there. But you know, truthfully, I'm ready to compete for a conference championship, but we can't just have the goal of making the tournament. Our mindset has to be this year, and it will be, to be the best team we can be every single day and concentrate on winning every single day and every single pitch. And I feel like, and it was maybe my fault, that maybe we were looking forward to that tournament. We just thought we were going to be there. And we just thought when we got there we were going to win it. And that's a good mindset to have, but we overlooked some games here and there, and it came back to bite us a little bit. So it's important for us to win the day each and every day. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make sure I work my tail off each and every day this summer, and I'm going to sting my own self a little bit and make sure that we're sound and ready and prepared for every single obstacle that we may have to overcome.
Real quick, where are we starting off 2013?
Houston, Texas. We have Houston Baptist. We're going to play in the Skeeters ballpark, in the new minor league ballpark there, where the conference tournament's going to be held the next 2 seasons.
Can't wait, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Want to thank our terrific reporters and producers, Ashley Bull and Philip Boudreau, worked their tails off this year. For Seth Thibodeaux, I'm Mike Wagenheim. We'll talk to you again next season. The Seth Thibodeaux Show has been brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state with State Farm Insurance. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.